the City podcast.
To quote one of my favorite movies of all time, I just wanted to start off with, all is well, remain calm. Remain calm, Jet fans. Remain calm, Giant fans. Remain calm, football fans, Dolphin fans, and even the college basketball blue bloods. What am I talking about? Just give me a sec, Ted. I will. This is ladies and gentlemen, another edition of Keys to the City. I'm your host, Trevor Keys, alongside the big brother T3, Ted Keys. You can check out Clovercrest Media as well as Keys to the City on Instagram, Twitter, Spotify, YouTube, and many more social media platforms. Hit that follow, like, subscribe button. Ted, this is a fascinating / unusual time right now in the football world. And when I just said, I'll tell you this. Ted, do you know yesterday, for the first time since 2011, the Jacksonville Jaguars, the New York Jets, the New York Giants, and the Detroit Lions all won a football game? And then when I said the college basketball blue bloods, Ted, the Duke Blue Devils, the Indiana Hoosiers, Kansas, Kentucky Wildcats, the UNC Tar Heels, the Orange of Syracuse, and UCLA are all 3-0 in the college football world. So as I was saying, all is well. Remain calm, the blue bloods of the college football world right now. But this is a fascinating time. And wow, what a weekend. What a weekend we had. I don't even know where to start with this weekend. Week one, a hell of a start to the week one's NFL season. Well, guess what? Just when you think the NFL tried new things, it just continues. As Silvio from Soprano said, just when they think they have me out, they pull me back in. And that's what the NFL does better than any sports league. We're going to get into the Miami Dolphins' fascinating comeback and the Cincinnati Bengals. What's going on with them? What's more stunning, the Dolphins 2-0 or the Cincinnati Bengals 0-2? And then there is a mega matchup tonight. Two. Ted, what's better than having one football game? How about having two? You said three? No, Ted, there's only two. Get it right. There is two.
I said two. Oh, you saw the third thing.
Yeah, I thought you did this. There is two Monday night games tonight. The Buffalo Bills taking on the Tennessee Titans. And then we'll get into the actual big game, I would say, because I don't see Buffalo losing tonight. Jalen Hurts, Kirk Cousins, the Minnesota Vikings against the Philadelphia Eagles. Who do we trust more? But, Ted, we are New York Giants fans. And it's a fascinating time. You look at where the New York Giants currently right now, 2-0. Ted, do you know that there's only two teams right now currently? Don't know. It's going to change tonight. There will be three teams tonight that will be 2-0 after 2 weeks in the NFC. Do you know one of them is the New York Giants? Do you know the other one?
Yeah.
Who is it?
The Tampa Bay Bucks.
The Tampa Bay Bucks, as per usual, and the New York Football Giants are 2-0 right now, ladies and gentlemen. Has it been pretty? No. It has not been pretty, but you know what? They got toughness, they got grit, and they're just having fun. And you look at how this New York Giant franchise has been, and I can even say the New York Jets. Look how these two franchises have been. The Detroit Lions, the Jacksonville Jaguars, these new regimes that look like these teams who have been the laughingstocks of the NFL look like they could be finding some special ways going forward. And it looks like that with the New York Giants. Brian Daboll. I get what this offense is going to take some time. The offensive line has its moments. But you look at the way this defense has been playing, Ted. I know that they won week one, the way they won. I know that they won the way they won yesterday. Ted, are the Giants just playing Giants football? We've been watching Giants since we were kids. We know how this New York Giant franchise is, even with the Super Bowls. It's never been pretty. It's never been sexy. It's never been blowout victories. The only blowout victory I can ever recall in a huge moment is the NFC Championship game of 2000 between the Minnesota Vikings and the New York Giants. But the Giants, they're just playing Giant football. Am I wrong?
I don't know what they're playing. I don't know.
Yo, we're 2-0 right now. We got to be happy. First time in 6 years, bro. We're first place in the NFC East.
Dude, I was driving for it. I'm thinking, I haven't really been that excited. Like, I don't know. Like, even last week when they won, I was like,
you're killing my vibe right now.
No, I'm swear to God. Like, I
swear to God.
I don't know what's wrong with me. I should be ecstatic. I should be like, yeah, they won the game. But no, it's like we don't ever win games. We've never been 2-0 since 2016.
Yeah.
I don't know what to make of this team. I really don't, because it's so unimpressive. Like, it's literally disgusting.
Offensively, I would say.
Offensively, I mean, listen, the defense is doing their
The
part.
defense is doing their part.
Listen, what I would say is maybe the reason why we're winning these games is coaching. Coaching's getting
I
us
know
over
it's
the.
shocking. We have actually coaching now.
Well,
With
so
coaching.
so here's the thing, Trev. Like, we talked about this before for the season, and I was like, all right, let's look at the first 4 games. Like, let's break the game into quarters. And I'm like, all right, like with the Giants, you never say anything's a win. I don't care who the hell they're playing. I mean, they could be playing.
They could be playing JVs.
Listen, they could be playing us in the backyard. Who knows who they're playing? But
we're
I don't
winning.
know.
We're
I'm
winning
like, all
that
right.
game.
So
Don't forget.
I'm like, well, they're playing Tennessee, so I'm like, probably they're the playoff team. They were number 1 seed. Like, they'll probably lose, but they'll play tough. We'll come back. Like, we got Carolina. I'm like, that's a winnable game. I'm like, Dallas. I thought Dak would be healthy and Dallas would be much better. And I'm like, all right, probably Giants can't beat Dallas. They're not there yet. So they'll lose. And then they got the Bears. And I'm like, all right, the first 4 games, you're 2-2. And I'm like, all right, let's look at it's half full. The glass is half full. Like, we're not too bad, but we're 2-0. So I'm like, all right. And then Dak's out. And I'm like, all right, Dallas won yesterday, but it wasn't pretty. They had a walk-off field goal, which, whatever. We'll get into that another time. I was more disappointed. You should have seen it. I was more disappointed. I was more pissed off yesterday about the Cowboys winning than I was about the Giants actually winning, which is crazy to think, but that's how my brain works, because I can't stand Dallas.
He's thinking about the negatives when there should be you should be thinking the positive.
So here's what I'll say with this. The Giants, I said they're 2-0, right? But here's the problem what I have with the Giants, right? They've only scored 4 touchdowns in 2 games. They've only converted 29% of their third downs, or 8 for 28. Their total first half outpoint, 6 points, and yesterday, and then they trailed 13-0 in the first game, and they won 21-20. We know about that. Yesterday they trailed 13-6 in the third quarter, and they got by yesterday. They won 19-6. So their margin of error is so thin. Barkley didn't have a great game yesterday. I believe he only had 76 yards rushing. Daniel Jones, I have it right in front of me, is not impressive at all. Like, that's maybe my biggest thing, is we're winning despite our quarterback's poor play. And you're like, well, what's so poor about it? It's not good enough football, bro. It's just not good. It's like Cooper Rush last night looked better in the first half than Daniel Jones looked all yesterday. I mean, what do I have yesterday? Jones went 4 of 8 on pass attempts beyond 10 yards. 16 of Jones' 34 attempts went for 5 or fewer yards. For the second week in a row, his average pass was targeted at 3.3 yards. So, like, I can look at the negatives, but at the end of the day, they're getting the wins, right? They're winning football games. As a Giant fan, that's all you want. You want them to win games. You want them to build on it. Hopefully they get better. Listen, let's be honest for 2 seconds. Daniel Jones still stinks, bro. He's not a good enough quarterback, bro. But we're winning football games, and I'm not going to turn a positive, a 2-0 start, to a negative, even though it sounds like all I'm talking about is a negative.
It sounds like you're being very, very negative
but
right now.
here's my thing is, we're winning football games, so that's what's most important for us, right?
Yeah.
They're negatives, but they're all things.
And Ted, that's the thing.
They're all things that can be, listen, they're all things that can be fixed. I mean, here's the thing.
But Ted, you also got to take hold on, listen to this. Take into consideration this. They're winning football games. They're winning football games that they would lose in the past.
Well,
that's the thing.
I was talking to Dad. I'm like, he goes, "What's the matter with you?" And I'm like, I go, it's almost like I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like, when is the?
You can't think that. You got to just.
Because it's been so typical for this team for so damn long.
Well, you got to think about it. There's competent. It feels like there's a competent coaching staff. Wink Martindale. There's a reason why he's one of the most well-respected defensive.
Well, I don't can't believe Baltimore got rid of him, and I think Baltimore should.
I definitely think they should have. I think they should have definitely kept him. Kafka. I think the offense is slowly getting into it. You still got to deal with your whole Kenny Galladay situation. Wan'Dale Robinson's out. Kadarius Toney. We don't know what's going on with him. If we could get these playmakers going, that's a huge thing. They're running the football. I like that they're running the football. They're getting Saquon heavily involved. You got to think, though. They're ranked 31st right now in passing yards. In a passing league, they're average 159 yards.
He had 188 yards and 176. It's just
They're fifth, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. They're 5th in rushing right now, and they're only averaging 20 points a game. So right now, defensively, they're 12th overall in yards per game.
Past 5 or 10 years, Trev, they would have lost these 2 games.
That's what I'm saying. We've seen it in the past. Yesterday, we've seen them lose to Carolina literally on a game-winning field goal. Graham Gano, for goodness sake. Thank God the New York Giants have Graham Gano, because he's one of the most valuable players on this entire team.
Trev, do you know he was like 22 of 25 from 50?
Yeah, he's been incredible.
Trev, here's another thing. This is what bothers me, and I know you're going to take it. Is We talked yesterday multiple times, but we talked in the first half. All right, Carolina gave every opportunity for the Giants to jump on them yesterday. Remember we were talking about this?
I know.
And I said they're only up 6-0.
First two
And
drives.
that's what's most frustrating is they're not. Those are better teams. Carolina sucks. Okay, they stink. Rule's going to be out by the halfway through the season. Baker Mayfield, get ready to be a backup or be out of the league in a year or two because you're garbage too, bro.
Damn.
You stink. You can't even throw for 200 yards. You got playmakers. You stink. You're Chris McCaffrey, DJ Moore. They're garbage, bro. You're garbage. Sorry. What do you throw for like 150 yards yesterday? I'm sorry. The Giants defense ain't at the 1986 Bears. Okay, they're good, but they're not that good.
This man really is knocking the Giants.
No, bro.
I thought this man.
Serious right now. I could just go. You stink, bro. You are absolutely trash, bro. Baker Mayfield, you're trash. You're trash. But guess what? Thank God our coaching staff is much more in tune with what we need because what we're doing is we're giving our quarterback an opportunity not to fail. We're really saying this is like the old way I can think is. It's the only thing that popped in my head is the Baltimore Ravens from 2000. Like, let's run the football, let's play great defense, and like, please don't screw it up, right? Don't screw this thing up.
Here's the thing. Look, this team, and Brian Dable said it too. This is a long process. We're not over here jumping in joy saying, "Oh, we're going to the Super Bowl." We're not saying that at all. It's just for a franchise that's been so poorly run and so poorly executed that to see these wins these past 2 weeks, it's a tale of two halves. The first halves of the New York Giants this season have been god awful. It's been awful. Titans, they were awful offensively, and then yesterday they were awful offensively in the first half. But yesterday they found ways to win. Daniel Jones, 3rd and 6, going for that. Almost decide. I mean, I don't know. Maybe a year or two ago, Daniel Jones tries to force the throw to Saquon, and they throw a pick 6. But he goes outside, comes back inside. The defensive end over pursues. He comes back inside, gets an 11-yard game, and the New York Giants are the winners of the game yesterday. They're finding ways to win. It's not pretty. I'm okay with that. They're finding ways to win where in the past they found ways to lose this game. And that's all I could say. It's a long process. This is a long journey. I don't expect the Giants to be going to hell. If the New York Giants are in the conference championship game or in the Super Bowl, I ain't going to complain. I'll be the happiest man in the world. But this is a long process, and it's a long journey, as Brian Dable says. But they have competency, and they have something special brewing in New York. And I think for both New York teams, I don't think it's just the New York Giants. I think it's the New York Jets. The biggest question going forward with the Jets is the health of Zach Wilson because they got playmakers now. Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, those guys look like they're going to be studs for some time now. If Zach Wilson can stay healthy, that's the question going forward. The Giants, the main question is, yes, it's Daniel Jones. What's going to happen with him? Is he going to figure it out? He's got to have a better QBR. Right now, 33.1 QBR, 26th rank in the league, 3 touchdowns and 1 interception. So he's got to get those numbers up. They're going to have to try to, and that's what kills them right now. Because their supposed deep threat, is a guy that's about to be probably sayonara in Kenny Golladay. Another bad contract by Dave Gettleman, the regime of Dave Gettleman, the abyss of Dave Gettleman. They need a deep threat. They need a home run over the top guy. They have a lot of speedsters, a lot of guys that are checked down, short intermediate routes, which work in this league. But they need a guy that, hey, there is a man named OBJ. Just saying. Don't know if it would ever happen, but this defense, the way they're playing, not having Thibodeau there still, not having easy over there, and then Leonard Williams going down. Got to keep an eye on Leonard Williams because he is an integral part of that defense. But Xavier McKinney, big props, having a huge, tough task yesterday and having to defend Christian McCaffrey in the passing game. And we know what Christian McCaffrey could do. We've been seeing it since his college days, high school days, what he can do when he has the ball in space. And Xavier McKinney, Wink Martindale, tremendous hire. This team, I know it's 2-0. I know there's 15 weeks left. But to be a Giant fan right now is a good feeling because we haven't seen it in some time. I'm ecstatic that they're finding ways to win in the past, Ted, that they haven't. So be more excited, brother.
Oh, I'm excited.
No, you're not. He's like, oh, I'm excited, but he's like, oh.
I'm trying to maintain myself. There's a lot of composure because what happens is I get off the rails. I start screaming and yelling. I start saying bad words.
That's what we got to scream, bro. We're happy. It's a good feeling right now. Like I'm saying, I'm not saying we're going to win the Super Bowl. I'm not at all. But just to see them playing the way they are.
This has been my composure with the Giants. Listen, next week is my big one. Next week is my big one.
Needed more than anything in the world, baby. Needed more.
If they lose next week, for me,
we're not getting talking very negative right now, and I don't need this negativity. I don't need it because you know what I'll do? I'll take your off screen.
I think
You
I
don't
need
want
to,
that?
I think I need to go to the game next week.
It's not a bad idea. No, you know what? Don't just watch it. Just watch it at home or something. Because I feel
I'll
like
be at
every
work.
time. Well, the last time we went to the Giant game, they won. They beat the Raiders last year.
Monday Night Football, we got 7 guys getting inducted to the Ring of Honor next week.
I think they're wearing the color rushes, which gets me even more nervous because they don't win.
Do you
with
have your
those
jersey?
uni-
Do you still have your jersey here?
No, I've been wearing shirts like this. I'm
No,
trying
I
to
know.
stay.
Do you still have your jersey up here?
My Saquon?
Yeah.
What jersey?
The white one?
Oh, my Landon Collins white one? Yeah. You want to wear
Oh,
Landon Collins? Hey, if you want, this is but like I said, to New York fans, yesterday was a good day overall. We're not gonna get into the baseball aspect of it, but it was a good day to be a New York sports fan. The Jets winning a miraculous comeback, the Giants winning, holding off the Panthers late run, and then Aaron Judge is now only 2 away from the record, 3 from breaking it. So we're definitely keeping an eye on Big 99 for the pinstripes. Let's get over to we talk about 2 of the crazier, well, let's say one of the crazier games of this weekend. There's been a bit of surprises. The Indianapolis Colts have looked god-awful. They look like the worst team in the NFL right now. You got the Jacksonville Jaguars currently leading the AFC South. The Detroit Lions are putting up points like the 1980 Buffalo Bills, the 1990 Buffalo Bills. They're scoring 30-plus points a game. What the hell's going on? They can't be stopped offensively. Who's playing there? Jim Kelly? Andre Reed?
They got weapons, bro.
They got weapons, and they're still waiting. And Jameson Williams is still not even healthy. So
I know. And Jared Goff, bro.
It's a weird year. And two of the big surprises right now early on in the season, the Miami Dolphins and the Cincinnati Bengals. I remember Ted in preseason. Oh yeah, the Cincinnati Bengals are going to be the team to watch out for in the AFC and to throw.
I didn't say they didn't watch out
and to throw in the Buffalo Bills. I was like, yeah, good luck in the AFC. Well, those Cincinnati Bengals.
I didn't say that. I have the Chargers in the Super Bowl, so I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about. That's even
I
worse.
just said when we were
That's
talking
even
about
worse. That's even worse.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
But you look at how these 2 games played out. The Cincinnati Bengals. Ted, more stunning to you. Is it this new look Miami Dolphins team with the fastest receiving duo in the history of the NFL in Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill? And Tua Tagovailoa almost had 500 yards yesterday, 6 touchdowns, leads the league in passing yards.
Yeah.
What's more stunning to you, Ted? Is it the Dolphins at 2-0 right now, or is it the Bengals at 0-2?
Listen, my initial was the Dolphins, but it's the Bengals. It's the 0-2. It's how bad and poor they played. First week, okay, I get it. It's a division rival, Pittsburgh, but they look like crap. Burrow had 4 picks, 5 turnovers total. He got sacked, I think 7-8 times.
7 times last week, 6 yesterday.
So
he's on pace to get sacked 111 times, Ted.
That's probably the most disappointing thing because we talked about this team like, all right, Chase and Higgins and Boyd, all right, they got 3 stud receivers. You got Joe Mixon, and then they fixed their biggest flaw, right? They got 3 offensive linemen.
You would think everything would be perfect.
Their offensive line is not good whatsoever right now.
It's almost Joe
Burrow has not found his stroke yet. And I think a lot of that has to do with what you were talking about when we argued last week was he was hurt. He had a procedure done in the offseason during training camp, and then he didn't play in the preseason. So there is no continuity. And what's more stunning is, okay, you got Pittsburgh, but you should beat Pittsburgh. Sorry, Mitchell Trubisky's the quarterback. He's garbage. He's another one you can add to that trash bag list and throw him out to the side, okay, because they suck. He sucks too, and Kenny Pickett will be the quarterback by week 6. Guarantee.
Give it Kenny P. Give us Kenny P.
So it's coming. It's just a matter of time. So Pittsburgh stinks. All right. Offensively, they got a really good defense, and they cause havoc for Joe Burrow. But they should have beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. Missed opportunities at the end, field goals, whatever. Okay, so after the poor performance, you almost had a chance, but you still lost. Now you go to Dallas. I'm like, all right, you know what? We need to regroup. We had a bad start. Let's regroup. Let's get ready for week 2. We're playing Cooper Rush. And I think that part of played the factor. Like, Cooper Rush is the quarterback. No problem. We're going in. We're going to beat them. They did not look good. The offense didn't look good. They could not stretch the field. I have Joe Burrow in fantasy. He stinks. I'm ready to drop his rear end. He's – I mean –
You're going to drop his ass already? Put him on the bench.
I saw guys last night like, who wants to trade for Joe Burrow? Because they look like the old Bengals right now.
But is that hit? No, but is that more of?
Could it be a hangover?
No. It's not the. No, is it more? It's not on him. We can't be giving all Joe. Like I feel like people are.
Dude, you're the quarterback.
I know, but the offensive line, he has no time in the pocket. they're like you said, Ted, that chemistry too. And I've been saying it, the preseason. I know preseason not a big deal, but just to have that chemistry, maybe the chemistry between the offensive line, because you know that the receivers they have to have the chemistry still reeling off of last year. So more of the offensive line, and to add Kappa, Karras, and Collins, and to think that these are three All-Pro caliber players, and it still looks just as bad, if not worse than it was last year.
Listen, the first half. Okay, here's the thing: the Cowboys didn't do anything in the second half. All right. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the Bengals had more plays on one drive. I think it was like an 18-play drive.
Yeah, they had the 18-play drive where they scored with
the Cowboys. Then the Cowboys had the whole entire second half. Yeah. So, but the Bengals never took advantage. They kicked field goals. Ted, they never scored touchdowns. They could not beat a Dallas team. Now they're facing an 0-2 start. Now, considering that division stinks when we thought it was one of the best, because the Browns, I don't know if we're going to talk about them, but they had a 99.9% chance of winning, and they lost to the New York Jets. So, and Joe Flacco.
What are they, Atlanta Falcons?
First win for Joe Flacco as a New York Jet. He was 0-6 beforehand. He's like second in the league in passing. My God, I mean, blown coverage.
Yeah, the top three.
Did you see Denzel Ward's answer to when they asked about the? He goes, "Well, that wasn't my coverage. That wasn't my side of the ball." I'm like, "All right, good answer." Yeah, Nick Chubb doesn't go down. Whatever. We won't get into all that Jets thing, but the Browns stink. They're playing Pittsburgh this way. The Steelers are choosing a quarterback. The Ravens
going in on franchise.
And then the Ravens, listen, you had what, a 20-something point lead?
They had a 21-point lead going into
Lamar Jackson had his best statistical game as an NFL quarterback yesterday. He had over 300 yards passing, over 119 yards rushing.
That's a damn shame.
And you let Tua throw for 464 yards and 6 touchdowns. I mean, I had it in front of me. It was like there's only been like 5 quarterbacks in like the last 10 years that thrown for 400 yards and 5+ touchdowns. It was like Mahomes, Brady, Foles, and like one or two other guys. And I couldn't think of off the top of my head. Maybe it was Goff in that game where it was like 60 to 60.
Do you know what makes it worse about the Cincinnati team is they only were held yesterday 254 yards offensively.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Right now, after 2 games, they're scoring a measly 18.5 points. That's 20th in the league currently, which is shocking. That I thought it'd be a lot lower. And at this time last year, well, they were averaging 27 points per game. So it's got to be the offense, because right now that team as a whole, I'm not gonna lie, I think the Bengals 100% stunning.
Well, because can I say one thing before you? And I know your answer. It's this is, and the reason why I say more stunning is because I think you and me and maybe
just
a lot more
because the expectations. Yeah, I mean, like
the Bengals to be back to where, because they fixed. It felt like they fixed their negative.
Yeah,
it was supposed to be like everything was supposed to be average and above, and now like they look like they've taken a full step back below to where.
You want me to answer that? They just look like the Cincinnati Bengals, typical Cincinnati Bengals. By the way, they've never made the playoffs after an 0-2 start. So if history says that, then history may not be good for the Cincinnati Bengals this year. More stunning to me, I'm going to go with the Dolphins. Because of the way they came back yesterday, they were getting their asses kicked, handed to them. Lamar was having a field day. And just like the New York Yankees, Baltimore, you didn't want to pay him now? Guess what? Good luck paying him a lot more money, or you're letting him walk, because Lamar Jackson's going to get paid big bucks, and he is so deserving of it. And get that man a number 1 receiver, please. Please get him a number 1 receiver. God, I don't understand it. But the Miami Dolphins, Ted, we've seen in the past. We're talking about all these old franchises, the Giants, the Jets, teams that have figured out ways to lose. The Dolphins, this is a game that in the past they would have lost 58. The last time I think these two teams played, I'm not mistaken, was the opening day game when we were at Randall's in 2019, and they lost 59.
It was at 55.
It was like 55 to nothing or something like that. And Lamar, that was his campaign for his MVP season. And that was, I think, the last time they played in Miami. But the way in the past that we've seen this Dolphin team, down 35-14, sometimes they would have just hung it up. Like, to see Tua, to see this offense. Now, I don't know if it's more credit to just how bad that secondary of Baltimore is.
Well, there was definitely blown coverages.
Multiple blown coverages on Tyreek Hill. Like, it just doesn't make sense. And
guard number 10.
Yeah, guard number 10 and 17. Let everybody else beat you. Let guard number 10 and 17.
Yeah. That's Pro Bowlers. Marcus Peters, Marlon Humphrey, Marcus Williams, the safety who had 2 picks from the Saints. They also brought in Kyle Hamilton, which was an All-American from Notre Dame.
I know.
Guard Tyreek Hill. Don't give up the big play.
Yeah.
Make them move down the field. Oh, well, guard Jalen Waddle too, because don't forget him because they both had over 170 yards receiving yesterday.
Yeah.
Um,
And
yeah,
both
it's
had 10 plus receptions too, by the way.
yeah because I watched the first half and I'm like, oh my god, Tua is getting killed. Their offense
Yeah,
was
he
off.
did. It's amazing. It's a tale of
Well,
two
credit to
halves.
Mike McDaniels, and you know what? Maybe Mike McDaniels could save Tua's career.
But that's a good thing. You got to have a coach that believes in you. If the coach believes in you, then guess what? That brings the confidence in on that quarterback. My also thing is, it's just fascinating to see. But I want to pause on the Dolphins. I'm stunned to see the Dolphins right now at 2-0, especially with the way they played last week. I expected them to take care of New England week 1 because of the fact that they have taken care of New England. They struggle. The Patriots struggle, and they're going to struggle throughout this
For
season.
years down in Miami,
Yes,
always.
even when they had Brady, even when they were dominant, they've always struggled with the Dolphins. I just want to pause the brakes and put my foot down on the brakes because yes, this was a fascinating win by the Miami Dolphins, and I'm not taking anything away from Tua having the greatest game of his professional career, maybe in the history of his life, having the greatest game ever. But let's just pump the brakes for a sec.
It's only week 2.
But next week is a huge telling sign for this Miami franchise because they get to host the Buffalo Bills. You want to see where you're charted at in the standings, in the power rankings, in the AFC East, and with the Buffalo Bills as a Super Bowl type team? Well, then you're going to have to show it next week because you're going to get that Buffalo Bill team who has dominated you in the past right now, in recent memory. The Dolphins, great win, fascinating win, but let's see how they pan out going into next week. You know how that always happens. You get a big, momentous win, a franchise-changing, altering win. Then you come back and you lay an absolute dud. Let's see how they play next week, too.
Yeah.
But absolutely credit. I'm very stunned with the Dolphins being 2-0. Did not think they were going to go into Baltimore and win, and especially the way they won. Being down by 3 touchdowns, scoring 4 touchdowns in the fourth, and the way they won. Tua threw the ball deep. He threw the ball deep. Now, maybe it's because Tyreek Hill was, a mile open from the nearest defender, but still, he threw the ball deep. But the Bengals have some issues. They got to figure it out. They play the Jets next week, which, well, let's not say that's a given victory because
Jets beat them last year at home.
Yes, they did. They did beat them.
Beat them at home last year. And Jeff, you know what else is more stunning is we picked the Dolphins to lose and we picked the Bengals to win. So and we also picked the Raiders to win, and we also picked.
We'll get into that in a sec. We'll get into that in a sec. But that's the thing. That was, the picks right now. Currently, we're going to be going throughout the entire season. We are 0-3, but 2 of those games. But hold on. To our discredit, 2 of those games were 20+ blown games.
We both had Baltimore. We both had the Raiders, and they both blew a 20.
And that's our fault. That's our fault because we picked those 2 teams. That's not our fault. That's on them. I'm not taking any blame for this. I blame them. But it's been, like they say, any given Sunday, no victory now is given. I thought the Denver Broncos were going to beat the brakes off the Texans. The Denver Broncos got a lot of problems too. There's a lot of problems. And all the Aaron Rodgers lovers, relax. Like he likes to say, relax. It's just against the Chicago Bears. Let's see him play next week against the Bucs and the GOAT, Tom Brady, for all the people that can't stand him. But let's close out with a huge game tonight and a huge game for 2 quarterbacks that have we always know about Kirk Cousins, the history of Kirk Cousins. He's 2-9 in Monday Night Football history, the worst record in the history of the NFL. Kirk Cousins owns that record. So it's a good record to own, I guess. And then you get Jalen Hurts. We've been talking about throughout the year, just like Tua in the offseason. What is Jalen Hurts going to do with this new look team? Well, week 1, if it's anything that's telling in week 1, this Eagles offense is going to be scary this year and going to be extremely hard to defend. So, Ted, you look at this Monday night game, and I'm not going to get into the Texans or the Titans and Bills because I fully expect being home, the Buffalo Bills. Yes, Derrick Henry is Derrick Henry, but I expect the Buffalo Bills to take care of business and to send the Tennessee Titans 0-2. So, Ted, you look at this game, 2 teams coming in this week, both new look offenses, Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson, stars galore, Dalvin Cook, Miles Sanders, Nick Sirianni versus Kevin O'Connell. Both very impressive. But like we always like to say, this is a quarterbacks-driven league. So it's going to come down to the quarterbacks, no matter what anybody wants to say. I know it's so cliche, but Ted, will tonight's game come down to Kirk Cousins? And if so, Who do you trust more?
Oh my God, whichever it's like. I mean, I'm not going to act like an idiot and say Captain Obvious, but it always comes down to the quarterbacks. It's going to
But
come
who
down
do you?
to
It's more of a who do you trust more
I
in
don't,
this
I don't,
game?
I don't really know. I mean, I would say Hurts because he's got the home field advantage, and Kirk Cousins was 0-9 in primetime games. But
No, he's 8-17 in primetime games, 2-9 in Monday Night Football games.
you sure? I thought he had no
Oh,
wins.
I'm positive. It's the
All right.
worst record in Monday Night Football history.
Let me put it this way. This is the old thing that me, Joe, and you used to say, like, oh, he's 0-9 against the pitcher. So what's he never going to get a hit? This is a Kirk Cousins game, bro. Like, this is where you got to make your money. Like, I tell you one thing, you got two stud receivers in this game, A.J. Brown, Justin Jefferson.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Devontae Smith. Then there's Jalen Reagor, but he's the punt returner for
Jalen Reagor. Eagle fans love him.
I mean, Dalvin Cook. I mean, Nick Sirianni versus the new coach for, oh my God, I'm drawing a blank for Minnesota.
Kevin O'Connell.
Kevin O'Connell from the Rams. So they looked really impressive in week 1. Their defense looked really good against Green Bay. They were able to put pressure. I think the Eagles, this is a different ballgame. Eagles like to run the ball, all right? So their run and play action. Jalen Hurts, looked pretty good in week 1. But if you looked at their stats, it was kind of weird. They had 5 rushing touchdowns from 5 different players. So, what do you make of this? And then you look at, like, Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson, had 184 yards, 2 touchdowns, like, ran wild all over the Green Bay. So what do I make of this game? For me, for Minnesota, it's a proving point. Again, I know it's early in the season.
Would you say it's a proving point for both teams, though? Because these are two to us. We talked about it last week.
Yes,
these are two of the dark horses of the NFC.
Yes, because the Vikings are like a sleeper NFC Championship type Super Bowl caliber team,
and just like the Eagles,
and that's been kind of the saying about them for the past 5 years is they have the talent. They just the quarterback I can't get him over the hump. Maybe Mike Zimmer was the flaw. Maybe Kevin O'Connell is the new guy. And then Nick Sirianni, all right, we got Jalen. He's in his 2nd year. We got Jalen Hurts in his 3rd year. It's a proven point. They traded a 3rd-round pick to go get A.J. Brown. All right, A.J. Brown had a nice first week. Devontae Smith, which is the Heisman Trophy, which is amazing. They had 38 points last week. He didn't have 1 catch. I know because I had him in fantasy. So
you started him last week?
Yeah.
Sorry,
you didn't know Nick Chubb was going to have 27 points last week, and whatever.
You're an idiot.
Devontae Smith, bro. Him and Jalen Hurts have a good rapport, bro. You figure 5 catches, 60 yards.
Not anymore. Devontae who? It's all about AJ Brown now and Jalen Hurts. That's the new duo. That's going to end up being one of the best duos in football this year. Because right now, like I said, this is a game that I want to see.
You're right. So he's won 2 in a row.
If you check it out, I did have a preview of this show. Check it out on YouTube, clovercrestmedia.com. My big thing for this game, and I know he had a quiet game last week to his standards, is Dalvin Cook. I know he had 90 yards rushing, didn't really get involved in the passing game, but Dalvin Cook, to his standards, when Dalvin Cook is going, he's one of the best backs in all of football.
I know. I have him in fantasy. Need another next week. I have a lot of people tonight going.
Well, good luck.
I have a lot of people.
If Dalvin Cook can get heavily involved in this offensive game plan, this is an offense that can go light years beyond what they really ever expected.
Well, Kirk Cousins' play action games become so much more dangerous, and now Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, Irv Smith Jr. I mean, they have.
That's why I also think Miles Sanders, just like Dalvin Cook, I think Miles Sanders has to have a huge game tonight.
Got him in fantasy too, and Devontae.
It's funny because my Jack, he's got Jalen Hurts, he's got AJ Brown, Miles Sanders, the kicker. He's also got, I think he added another Eagle. He's got like 5 or 6 Eagle players on his team. It's amazing.
I got AJ Brown, Dallas Goedert going in this league. So we got those 2 Eagles guys. And then we go to my other team.
Yeah.
And we got, what do we got in here? So tonight we have, Gabe Davis, you said he's not playing.
That's what they said. He's not going to play.
Dalvin Cook and Devontae Smith.
Wow.
So we got 4 guys going.
This is a real fascinating game because I want to see. Hold on, I want to.
You started the show off with 2-0 teams, right? And we know
in the NFC there's only 2 teams left,
and we know the importance of starting 2-0 and then starting 3-0, and because the teams that start 2-0 are like 67% make the playoffs, and then teams that are 1-1 are like 50, and then if you're 3-0, and I don't know what their schedules are next week, now you become like 75. So the more games you can win, tally up early in the season,
and confidence starts to build.
And for Minnesota, you take advantage, you keep the lead. You're 2-0.
This would be huge win for the Minnesota Vikings, especially that it's on the road.
Oh, absolutely. And for us as Giant fans, we're like, all right, let's go Minnesota because we want to continue 2-0.
Yeah.
We got Dallas next week. We want to just keep building momentum on these guys because
Yep.
we know as the season goes on, it's going to be tougher. And because teams start to catch their flow at the end of the season, like we saw last year with the Bengals.
Let's be realistic. The Eagles should be the favorites to win the NFC East. They're the most talented team, especially with Dak out. This is the most talented.
And that's the other thing. Like, the Eagles want to take advantage too. You know what I mean? And they want to build.
And so does the Vikings because you win this game. You have firm grasp of the NFC North right now currently.
And these two teams both have a prover point because there was so much hype behind the Eagles this year. Like, hey, could they be a sleeper Super Bowl pick? Yep. They're supposed to win the division. They made all the moves. They drafted the big guy out of Georgia, Jordan Davis. They brought in Bradbury from the Giants. You know what I mean? They have Darius Slay. So they have.
They also got Chauncey Gardner-Johnson too. They added a bunch of pieces.
They lost I believe Nick Barnett last week to
Derek Barnett's out for the year now.
So he's out, but their secondary should be better, right? They brought in Jalen Hurts. They brought in AJ Brown. Well, I'm not saying Jalen Hurts, but it's his third year. This is the make or break year.
This is it.
This is not going to be the New York Giants where we're going to hold on to you and watch you fail, and we'll hope that you get something out of it. So, because this is Philly, it's a whole different ball game, and there's an expectation in Philly this year, like we're supposed to win, not if we're going to win. And Minnesota, it's the same old story. Can Kirk Cousins win a big game?
We'll see. Also,
because this is a big game early in the season.
Of course it is. Hell yeah, it is. I mean, I know it's 1-0.
And it's Monday night. And listen, it's Monday Night Football, and everyone's watching.
I know it's 1-0 versus 1-0.
We don't want this quarter to be, well, you know what? Minnesota played really hard last night, but again, Kirk Cousins couldn't get over the hump, threw another late pick, and he crushed under the pressure.
I know. And one more thing we got to check out, just keep an eye on this Eagles defense because they gave up 35 points last week to the Detroit Lions. Let's see how this defense bounces back against this high-octane offense led by Justin Jefferson, led by Kirk Cousins, Irv Smith Jr., Adam Thielen, and Dalvin Cook. It should be a fascinating game. Because one of us is going 0 for 4 in our picks this week. So we'll see who's going to go 0 for 4. I have the Eagles, and Ted's got the Vikings. Look, I'm just picking the Eagles. Look, do I want to see the Eagles win? Obviously not. But they're at home, and I truly believe they're the better team. And I think tonight will be shown. Should be a fascinating game. We'll see how the Buffalo Bills play out with the Tennessee Titans, and we will be keeping an eye, obviously, on that big number 99 for the Pinstripes as he inches closer to the history books. He is 2 away from tying Roger Maris is 61 and 3 from breaking it.
And 1 to tie the Ruth.
Well, he's got 16 games left. They got 16 games left, so we are definitely keeping an eye. The moment it happens.
So here's the question: do I sneak to I can't even.
I don't know, Ted. What are you picking? Are you going to a Giants Dallas game? Or are you going to go see Judge break the record? I don't know.
Can we do it all on the same day?
Well, do the Yankees play next Monday? Is the question. And will the record be broken by then? And will it be broken this week?
Here's what's going to be great. He's going to break it this weekend against Boston at home. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they play Boston. They're on Fox on Thursday, Sunday Night Baseball, Amazon on Friday, and they're on whatever. And Saturday, they're on Yes.
Either way, he's going to break it.
I'm telling you, get ready for this time.
It's a good time to be a New York fan right now. The New York Giants, New York Jets.
You know why? Because yesterday was the first time since what I sent you the stats, since 2009 that the Mets, Giants, Jets, and Yankees all won yesterday.
Yep, and like I said, the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Detroit Lions, the New York Giants, and New York Jets all won 2 yesterday, the first time since 2011. So it is unusual and fascinating times in the football world, the college football world, and in the NFL world. Tonight should be a hell of a night if you're a football fan. Good luck in your fantasy games. Yeah, let's go. I can't wait. It's going to be a fascinating week. Sports is back, and sports is running heavy. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next episode. We're Keys to the City. We're out.
You are now in tune to the Keys to the City podcast.